Imagine standing alone, knowing that your next choice could cost you everything: power, jealousy, and danger surround you, yet you refuse to bend. This was a man's reality. And his courage set the stage for a miracle no one expected. Have you ever had to choose between fitting in and staying true to yourself? Well, the main character in today's story had to make that decision, but with much higher stakes. And you won't believe how God miraculously intervened. In the heart of ancient Babylon, one man's faith was about to be tested in the most terrifying way imaginable. Daniel's enemies were watching him closely through his window. They saw him praying to his God 3 times a day, just like they had told the king. Now was their chance to get rid of him once and for all, so they quickly rushed to the king and told him what they had seen. Now, King Darius couldn't have been happier to hear this. He had been waiting for an excuse to get rid of Daniel, his most trusted advisor, because lately he had been questioning if there really was a God who could do all that Daniel claimed. So Daniel's enemies convinced the king to sign a death sentence that read, "Anyone who prays to anyone else but the king will be thrown into the lion's den." They had set the trap, and now they would wait for Daniel to walk right into it. But Daniel wasn't afraid. In fact, he didn't even try to hide what he was doing. He opened his windows toward Jerusalem and prayed as he always had. When the royal guards saw him, they immediately reported him to the king, and King Darius had no choice but to enforce his own law. As they lowered Daniel into the dark and dank pit, the king spoke words of desperate hope. "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." Then the entrance was sealed, leaving Daniel in total darkness, surrounded by hungry lions. All night they circled, growling and ready to devour their prey. But something miraculous was happening. An angel of God was there in the darkness, protecting his faithful servant. The king couldn't sleep that night. And when dawn's first light peeked over the horizon, he rushed to the den, hoping against hope that Daniel's God had prevailed. "Daniel, has your God been able to rescue you?" But instead of answering, a voice echoed from the pit. "My God sent his angel." And as the mouth of the den opened, everyone gasped. There stood Daniel, covered in dirt, but without a single scratch on him. Not a single lion had been harmed either. The king then delivered justice to those who had plotted this evil, and a new decree was read throughout the empire. People must tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God. When have you had to choose between fitting in and staying faithful to God? Share your thoughts below. Thanks for watching. If you like this story, don't forget to check out more stories just like this. Thanks for watching.